Welcome to Battle Report, and an RPG Battle Report at that, as we take a look at Ys 1, Ancient Ys Vanished, also known as Ys the Vanished Omens, or the Ancient Land of Ys. In this video we are taking a look at the games based upon the original release, so that means no PSP, Nintendo DS, PlayStation 2 or any of the Windows versions, as they are all based upon the refreshed new version of the game. But that doesn't mean the ports are limited, oh no. So let's start off with the original, that first debuted on NEC's PC-8801 on June 21st, 1987. In Ys, you control Adol on his adventures. As he travels and explores dungeons, Adol encounters numerous roaming enemies, which he must battle in order to progress. Combat in Ys is rather different from other RPGs of the era, which either had turn-based battles or real-time battles. Ys instead features a battle system where fighters automatically attack when walking into their enemies off-center. When one fighter comes into contact with an enemy, damage can be sustained on both sides if both are facing each other. Attacking straight on causes the attacker the most damage to himself, but clipping the edge of the defender causes the attacked fighter to take the most or all of the damage. Apparently this combat system was created with accessibility in mind. Another feature that has been used in nearly every Ys title since the original is the recharging health mechanism, which had previously been used in the Highlight series. Recharging health has since become a common mechanism used in many video games today. The music in Ys was composed by Yuzo Koshiro along with Miyako Ishikawa. The soundtrack is notable for its rich melodies, in an age where video game music was beginning to progress from monotonous beeps. Or at least in Japan it was. The Ys soundtrack is considered to have some of the best video game music ever composed, and it is considered one of the finest and most influential role-playing video game scores of all time. The very first port of Ys was for the Sharp X1, which came 5 days after the PC-88 version, on June 26, 1987. For all intents and purposes, this is pretty much identical to the NEC PC-88 original in terms of looks, sound and playability. Unfortunately, the emulator I'm using for this game really does not like the text screen, causing it to grind to a halt every time text is displayed. This happens no matter what setting I'm using. Oh well, at least I got to show you the game running. Two months later, another Japanese PC port hit the streets on August 28, 1987. This is the NEC PC-98 version. I'd expect this to look a lot nicer than the PC-88 release, but in all honesty, it looks pretty much the same besides the smoother scrolling. The audio is a little different due to the enhanced melody, but I do find myself enjoying the original a little more. December 10th, 1987 brought us the MSX2 release on floppy disk. I'm playing a fan-made English translation patch here. As you can see, this port is very faithful to the previous versions when it comes to towns, maps and so on, but has greatly improved in the character art department. Sadly, the tunes are not as pretty sounding as the original in my opinion, but there are a few nice new tracks in this port, which later went on to be remade for the Ys Complete game. While this is a fairly competent port, I have a feeling the choppy scrolling and sluggish movement will put many people off. After the improved MSX2 version, I was hoping this August 26, 1988 release for the Famicom would continue the trend, but sadly not. This is the worst version of Ys so far. For a start, the way it scrolls is awful. I don't mean the movement, no that's great, super smooth, but just look at how close to the edge of the screen Adol is. To make matters worse, the character art is now hideous. Far worse than the original game. There's a load of music missing, and what is here isn't that good. The cherry on top of this turd is the rearranged maps. My god, they are a chore to navigate. Bushes in the way, dead ends, and they've even swapped around the shops and people you need to talk to. Why? October 15th, 1988 saw the Sega Master System get a port of Ys. Unlike the Famicom version, this looks more like the original. In fact, it seems to be based upon the MSX2 version, but has once again gone and changed the character art. Some of it for the better, while some of it not as good. The Master System port comes with FM and PSG audio. Because I'm playing this on a real Japanese Master System here, we are listening to the FM audio. Sadly, just like the Famicom game, Adol walks too near the edge of the screen, but since the maps aren't rearranged, navigation isn't anywhere near as much of a chore. Sadly, this version is missing the life points, EXP and gold data on the main play screen. This data can only be accessed via submenus. Did you know that in November 1989, Ys got a release on the Apple IIgs? It sure did, but sadly I can't show you anything from it because I can't get the bloody controls to work either via mouse, joystick or keyboard. So yeah, this is about as far as we get. I believe Hudson were behind this sharp X68000 port, which was released on July 19th, 1991. As you can see, graphically it's pretty much the NEC PC88 version, but now with a few cool options, such as having a sound test and speed controls. As you can see, I'm breezing through this game right now as I have it on the fastest speed. This really is a quality of life upgrade, as grinding in the original release was such a long process. Now you can complete the same task in a quarter of the time. Another improvement to this version was having 3D pre-rendered sprites for the bosses. However, I feel this looks incredibly odd. Next up is the PC Engine CD version, which also came with Ys Book 2. This is a whole fresh look at the game, featuring lovely cutscenes, CD audio, and a complete facelift in looks. Hudson, who did this port, also changed the stats, making it easier to power up, and just like the X68000 version, there's also a speed option, although it doesn't go as fast. Also, just like the X68000 version, you can save pretty much anywhere in this game, making it far more forgiving than the original version. The last true port of the original Ys came to the Sega Saturn on November 6, 1997. This port is part of the Famicom Classics Volume 1. Based upon the PC Engine version, this Saturn port features a Saturn mode and original mode. Both versions contain new graphics and music, however the original version has menus more traditional to the original game. The Saturn mode has a more modern menu system, large character art, you can walk diagonally and more. Now, you would have expected the Saturn port to use PC Engine music, but no, we get a whole new arrangement and one that is even better. And let's take a look at all those versions of Ys running side by side.